Hello lovely people, welcome back to episode 2 of Sunsets and Soul Chats. Unfortunately, I am not actually watching the sunset right now just because I have things to do in the evening, so I don't have the opportunity to go watch a sunset. However, I have gone to a place that has a view and I'm enjoying it from inside because there's actually not a lot of places where I can just sit and chat because it's quite busy today. But anyway, I have with me my caramel frappuccino, which is my go-to drink because last week I had a velvet cake, so I thought let me change it up with a drink, and yeah, that's what I'm enjoying. It's always my go-to drink anytime that I go to Starbucks. And then I literally came back from buying a few things at the shops, but the main thing that I wanted to show you, and also prompted this conversation, is I bought myself some tulips. They're so pretty. I guess they haven't bloomed yet, and yes, I got them from M&S, spent about £8 on them, and they are tulip abundance. And then I bought a nice vase to go with it, and then I'm going to put these in my bedroom. But what buying this sort of just made me think about in my head, I feel like we need to be treating ourselves more often. If you know me in person, you know that I am a treat yourself advocate. Anything and everything I just say, treat yourself. You don't take your money to the grave with you. Money's there to enjoy and money's there to be spent. And I think I've spent a long time kind of working through my money mindset and working through this idea of scarcity versus abundance. So when I was at university, as a student, you obviously don't have a surplus income or anything like that, or any income in general. My income was student finance and some money support for my parents. However, it meant that I couldn't do a lot of the really cool things that I'd love to do, or I always just kind of felt like, oh, I'm broke, oh, I need to get the cheapest thing ever. And so over time, since graduating and since being at home and just growing into being an adult, one of the things that I've been trying so hard to work through is my money mindset. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I had a super chill weekend. On Friday night, I bought myself some Nando's and then also went to Asda and got myself some wine. But the really key thing here is the exercise that I did when I bought my wine. So part of my getting over my money mindset has sort of just been to stop looking at the cheapest option for whatever it is that I want to do. So when it came to buying my wine, often what I used to do in the past, especially as a student and also up until I think quite fairly recent, my eyes always went to the bottom shelf. And if you're in the UK, I don't know if it's the same anywhere else, most times the bottom shelf for alcohol is the cheapest. I would always go for the cheapest wine. I'd always get the one that's £3.15, £4. Anything above £4 or £5 felt like I was spending a lot of money. And so when I was in the shop on Friday, and naturally I looked down to see what the cheapest wine was, I was like, hold on a second, you're not in that place in your life anymore where you have to go for the cheapest option. Why don't you go for what you actually want? And what I actually wanted was this £8 bottle of wine, and I got it. But for me, that exercise was to remind myself that I don't always have to go for the cheapest option for whatever it is that I'm buying. Same goes with flowers. I don't always have to go for the cheapest option for flowers. Let me get exactly what I want to get, but also let me treat myself and just do it, because otherwise you end up waiting to have a special occasion to buy flowers or to have a special occasion to get a nice bottle of wine. But actually the special occasion is just making it through the week and making it through the day. Therefore you need to reward yourself. I am in the process of unlearning those money habits that have served me well when I was growing up as a young person, as a person at university. That served me well so that I wouldn't go into debt or wouldn't spend beyond my means. However, I feel like you have to sort of get to a point as you're getting older to sort of start to switch what that money mindset has to be. And I think also sometimes it plays with your childhood as well. I remember as a kid, something that would happen at the shops, not all the time, but I'm the kind of kid that wanted to have everything in the shops. So I'd always try and sneak stuff into the trolley, or I'd always ask my parents, oh, can I get this, can I get this? But I always remember my mum used to say to me, oh, I don't have money, or my dad say, oh, I don't have money right now. And I just became accustomed to that in the sense where I, just kept telling myself, oh, I don't have money for that, or I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke. But people don't realize, the tongue is so powerful. And when you're always telling people, oh, I'm broke, I don't have money for that, you can't help but manifest a reality for yourself, and you can't help but manifest a perpetual sense of just scarcity. And I think, of course, it is, that's a situation that you may be, right? However, people have different definitions of I'm broke. So, my definition of I'm broke right now is not that I have zero money to my name. It's just that I don't have a disposable amount of money that I can just spend there and then. I have money in savings, I have money in investments, I have money elsewhere. However, it's not money that I can use right here and now. However, still, I'm putting myself in a scarcity mindset where I'm seeing money as something that I need to clutch closely, otherwise it's going to disappear and it's going to run away. But I just think you have to take the time or sort of do more exercises to unlearn the behaviors that you've picked up, whether through your childhood, adulthood, or just however it is your relationship with money. You just need to assess it, because I guess the opposite to that is like people who just like spend money all the time. So yeah, I just thought I'd give an example of when I bought my bottle of wine and when I bought flowers. Is that evaluate your money mindset. Evaluate whether you look at it from a scarcity mindset or from an abundance mindset, and remind yourself that cheapest is not always the best, or that you can't reserve treat yourself moments for, I don't know, for a time long in the future when actually you need to be treating yourself now and you need to be kind of enjoying the fruits of your labor now. So it's definitely something that I've been, exercising my mind to, remembering that there is so much money. And I personally think when you have an abundance mindset, and especially when it comes to money, the way I look at it is that I see money as a thing that just flows through, the world. It's something that, is always on the move. It's always on the move. Therefore, what I spend will always come back to me. Sometimes it might multiply, but I just think money's not something to be gripped like this. It's always flowing. So when I spend money on others, when I spend money on things that are an investment to myself, investment to my education, investment to bringing me joy, investment to doing something that shifts how I see it, I don't see it as a loss. I see that I'm going to get so much more back from that. But yes, it's definitely an experience. I'm not fully all the way there in shifting my whole mindset, but I definitely think I am making progress steps by small actions. So small actions of getting a nicer bottle of wine, small actions of getting nice flowers for myself, a nice vase to go with it, because it's all investments to myself, So definitely that's something that I've been trying to shift a lot. And I think also something that enables that to happen is to, if possible, because I recognize everybody's got such different financial situations, but if possible, to make space in your budget to allow yourself to have more treat yourself moments, whether it's £2 you put aside, £5, £20, £50 a month, that you sort of put yourself as like a treat yourself money. That might reduce your guilt that you might feel for when you do treat yourself, because you've kind of actually budgeted for that. So maybe that's a workaround for it. But yeah, that's kind of like a realization that I've had, that it's just so important to evaluate your money mindset and how you view money and your relationship with money, but also that as long as it takes to have learned that money behavior, you got to give yourself time to unlearn it and to replace it with better habits.